Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Morning, people. Push Message World. I hope everybody's doing all right this morning. I'm going to say something in light of the recent tragedies, and I want us to really comprehend. I want people, whoever going to comprehend, you're going to comprehend it. Those who are not, you're not. And nothing's wrong with you. You just think differently. But in light of recent events, with the Buffalo, New York mass shooting, with all of these folks who lost their lives and stuff like that, I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing a lot of posts of, this is America. They handle the mass shooter. He's alive, taken into custody and stuff like that. And people are posting it like you're surprised, like it's not like you didn't know like stuff like this would happen. And I need us black folk to understand that stop being outraged at how they're getting handled, because how they're getting handled, that's how they're gonna take care of each other. And that should be a lesson to us as black people that we need to take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be outraged because the mass shooter was taken alive into custody. But when it comes to a black man, he gets killed. We need to cover our own. We need to look out for our own. Don't be mad about it. Stop, let these people mourn in peace. That y'all posting these things of how they're being handled is only going to further divide America. Now, I have friends, white, black, Asian, Latino, like you name it. I have friends and people I'm connected to of different races and culture. And we all think differently, but we're still friends. We're all politically connected differently, but we're still friends. So I want us as black people to understand that. Stop being outraged. Stop being mad about how these people are being handled. They're going to cover themselves. They're going to cover one another. And we need to learn that for ourselves. Because as soon as a black man do something on TV, shoot, look at OJ. Oh, he guilty. Black, everybody, he guilty. We didn't cover ourselves. Look at the incident with Michael Ty with the whole spitting and the thing. We automatically, oh, that's disgusting. We didn't cover him. We don't cover each other. So let this be an example that we must cover each other. Not covet. We don't covet, but we cover. We cover one another. We look out for one another. We invest in one another. We build up one another. You know what I mean? I'm tired of the comparison. As a black man, you're going to be handled differently than a white man. You know that. So act accordingly. I act accordingly because of the simple fact that I know myself as a black man, I'm going to be treated a certain way by white America. And not all of white America, but certain type of white America. Because that's what it is. It's not going to change. I'm sorry. Racism is here. It's a problem. It's something that needs to be addressed. It needs something that needs to change. But however, we as black people must act accordingly. We must look at ourselves and say, you know what? They're going to cover each other. We need to cover each other. We need to stop the stuff that we're doing to each other. You know what I mean? Nothing is justified. People say, oh, you justifying it? No, I'm not justifying anything. But I want us as black people to understand that we must look out for one another. We must cover one another. That the time of competition of black man versus black woman need to be over. We need to understand that we must look to each other, not lust after one another, but we must look to one another and realize how important we are as a unit, as a team. And we must realize how important we look as a unit and a team. Because when you look at it, a lot of us are not connected. A lot of us are not unified. Just because one person thinks differently than another, we ostracize that person and we put a label and we put bad names upon people because they think differently than us. Maybe we're supposed to think differently. That's why each part of the body has a different function. That's why the head doesn't operate like a hand does, and the hand doesn't operate like a foot does, and the foot doesn't operate like a kneecap does, because we're all different. We're all different. So please, y'all, stop the comparison. Stop it. You're going to get treated differently because of the color of your skin and not the content of your character, because look at what is going on since Martin Luther King has passed away. Look what's going on since Malcolm X has passed away. Look at the impact that we're doing to our communities. You want to stop gentrification? All them people you investing in, if they're not giving it back to you, and they're not giving you a return of investment, because that's what you're doing, especially when you start investing in these music industries and stuff like that. Like, you know, we get mad at, you know, at white supremacy, but sometimes, often we're funding it because we're going to these rap concerts that's held by a white-owned establishment. No, I'm not preaching division. I'm just bringing y'all some logical sense here, because sometimes we get, as black people, we forget that we don't own a lot of stuff, and we don't own a lot of stuff because we're not united. And when people say we're not our ancestors, you're right. We're not our ancestors, because our ancestors wouldn't be condoning half the foolery that's going on within our community. They would not. They would not condone it at all. At all. And we know this. So let this be a lesson, y'all. Stop comparing yourselves to white America. Stop, black people, stop comparing yourselves. We're all gonna get treated different. I experienced racism when I was in the Marine Corps. And it didn't change my view of people. I just knew that certain people don't like black people. And okay, you don't gotta like me because I'm black. But understand that just because you don't like me because I'm black, you only gonna hurt yourself back. Because you gotta understand, when God puts you in a situation or a place, he's putting you there for a reason. You know what I mean? So like, yo, chill out, man. Let's get unified, man. Let's start investing in our businesses. Let's clean up our communities. Let's stop the gentrification by cleaning up our communities. If you're a black business owner, man, like, look out. Like, I shared something. There was the lady who opened Slutty Vegan. She granted graduates with an LLC. That's what we need to do in our churches. We need to do that too. We need to invest in our community. We need to invest and put more into the community. That way, when stuff like this happens, Brian, y'all wanna handle him, but it's okay, because we have unified and we have built ourselves into a point where by the time you go to the legal system, you're not only gonna see white folks. You're gonna see black, Latino, Jamaican, Haitian. You're gonna see it all, because we're unified. We're not in debt. You know what I mean? We're not heavily in debt. That's why we can't move forward. You know, we're giving each other knowledge without charging people an arm and 3 legs for it. You know, a lot of people try to come up by charging people for information you didn't even pay for, by charging people for information you didn't even sacrifice for. God gave it to you so that way you can bless other people. So understand, black folks, stop comparing yourselves to white folks, man. It further divides the country. It further divides us, and what happens is so many of y'all who have no time to hate are hating. Bruh, nothing new under the sun. We know this. Unless the man killed himself, we knew that he will be handled with care, because they're going to cover their own people. It's time for us to cover our own. When I say cover, we mean cover. We hold people accountable. We don't endorse foolery and foolishness in our community. We're building up our community. We're investing in our community. We're covering one another. Kids don't have to go to college in debt because it's already paid for by the community. You know what I mean? We've lost the community aspect of our lives. We lost the community aspect as black people. Everybody's an individual. I'm independent. No. Independence has ruined our community. It's man and woman. It's not just a woman thing. Man and woman. Everybody, I'm independent. I'm not an independent person. I'm dependent on God every day. As the song said, I need thee. Lord, I need thee every hour. I depend on God, because God will show me who I need to invest with. God needs to show me who I need to link up with. God will show me who I need to partner with. God is showing a lot of y'all who to partner with, but because I don't like that person. They are op. It's one of the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Haters, ops, all that. How can another black man be an op to another black man in a world that hates us? How can we condone killing one another in a world that's already plotting to kill us? Because, you know, now a lot more black folk are raising up, and they're like, nah, we're going to stop the killing of our own. So now we're going to have these shootings because people are upset. People are upset now that we as black people are coming together. We need to tighten it up, but it's getting there. it's getting there. Because when we unite as black people, and I'm not making this a race thing, when we unite as black people, it'll show the world how strong we really are. It'll show the world how strong we really are. Look at the civil rights movement. When we were united in the civil rights movement back in the 60s, look how the impact that we made on today. The stuff that was happening in the 60s is the reason why a lot of people are successful today, because we were united back then. We need to get back to that. We weren't outraged how the police treated us back then. We were not. We handled ourselves accordingly. We knew that. That's why Rosa Parks said no. That's why Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. That's why Martin Luther King had this I Have a Dream speech. Because of the simple fact that when we were united, they could do whatever they want to us. But at the end of the day, as black people, we were strong. We were strong. We were strong. But now modern day civil rights is not what it is today. See, we can't have a civil rights movement today because we're too busy killing each other in our hoods for the sake of drugs, for the sake of money, for the sake of popularity, for the sake of likes, for the sake of album sales and music sales. But we get mad at artists like Kendrick Lamar who addresses these things, and now he's a problem. See, when you preaching that struggle, oh yeah, I'm a drug dealer and I'm selling these drugs and da, 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 da. Oh yeah, we gonna back you. But let you say, let's stop these drug dealers. Let's stop these gangs. Let's stop the innocent killing in our own neighborhoods. Now you're a coon. Now you're Uncle Tom. Look at Stephen A. Smith. He's extra. Don't get me wrong. He's extra. He's very hard on athletes. And I used to not like Stephen A. until like one day I actually listened to what he had to say. And I was like, yo, my man got a lot of point. Y'all athletes are influencing these young kids. And these kids are mimicking these things in the neighborhood. They're mimicking these things in the neighborhood. Look at it. You know, like I posted something the other day when somebody said, oh, well, join a rap label and then you'll be charged with a RICO charge. Because a lot of these rappers get this money and think that they're supposed to remain in the streets. Put money in the streets. You want to put money in the streets? Clean up your community. To all my rappers and athletes out there, black athletes and rappers, like, you making all this money, invest in your community so these kids coming after you don't have to sell drugs. They don't have to kill one another. They don't have to do none of this foolishness that we're doing in these streets. That's why I'm not surprised when, you know, when white cops handle white domestic terrorists with care, because they're going to cover one another. You know that. Stop being surprised. Stop being outraged. Get it together, fix it, and do better. Okay? So that's what I got to say today, because like it kind of makes me upset. And some of our religious leaders don't do a better job because, you know, some of them, they antagonize it and they further divide us. Instead of saying, you know, racism is wrong, but we're not going to treat people the same way they treat us. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're treating people the same way they treat us. Two wrongs don't make a right. But they say to make a left-hand turn. You know what I mean? But two wrongs don't make a right. Just because you spit in my face, I don't have to spit back in your face. Especially if I'm covered by God. If I'm God's chosen vessel. Oh, you going to get what you get. You going to get what you get. And believe me when I tell you, you going to get what you going to get at the end of the day. So it's like, black people, stop comparing yourselves to white folks. Black men, stop comparing yourself to white men. Black women, stop comparing yourself to white women. We're all different. Like I said, a finger can't do what a head does. And the head can't do what a knee does. The neck can't do what the ear does. We're all different. Play your part and act accordingly. If you know in America as a black man that you already got 2 strikes against you, act accordingly. So that way when they pull you over and they do anything, you already legit. That's why I always make sure all my papers are legit when I'm riding. When I'm on the bike, when I'm on the car. I'm number one person. I don't ride with my motorcycle tag. Be transparent. I don't, but guess what? I got insurance, it's registered, and all that. So if they pull me over, and where your tag at? Oh, it's in the bag. Well, why you ain't got it on? This didn't put it on. Or my bike, because it vibrates so much, I've lost so many bolts, I'm just not trying to lose license plate. Because if somebody else found my license plate, that's another problem. Anyway, another story. But Why can't we unite like that anymore? I don't know why we can't unite like that anymore, bro. I don't know. I wish we could, but we too busy trying to label one another as crazy, mental health, and stuff like that. We try to label people, Uncle Toms and stuff like that. We too busy trying to put a label. Once we don't talk and agree in the struggle, we label them. We label them. You know, that's why Stephen A has a label. That's why people like me have a label, because we don't condone the foolery that we do to each other. That's why we need to unite. And another reason why we can't unite, for the love of money is the root to all evil, because we stepping on each other's head to get money, putting people down because I have more than you. Anybody know me? Whenever I have, I give. Because if I got, you got. You know that. You know that. Bro, you know me. We've known each other for years. You know if I got, everybody in my team got. When we rode together, you know, if I'm filling up my gas tank, fill up on me. How many times have we done that? But how many times can people authentically say they do that? You know what I mean? That's small steps that we have to take. And this is what we need to do. That's what we need to do as black people. Rest in peace to all everybody who lost their lives in the recent mass shootings, because there was more than just one mass shooting the other day. So there was a mass shooting at a church that didn't get as much publicity. There was another mass shooting in another supermarket, but it wasn't like Buffalo, because Buffalo was because it was a white man who killed black people. And the media is going to run that story as long as they can to further divide us. But I said, I have friends that are white, black, Asian, Jamaican, Haitian, I have them all. You know what I mean? We all think differently, but we all respect each other. We all know that this may what the news is saying, but I got a niece who's white, and her kids love me, and her husband is white, and her kids love me. They love me. They're not because when I say they're Caucasian, they're Caucasian. Like, if you look at some of their background and demographic, they shouldn't like people like me. But guess what? Because I'm kind-hearted, I love and I respect everybody, I'm welcomed and received. And that's what we need to maintain, our loving, our kindness, so we can be received. Okay? So let's stop comparing ourselves, man. Like, 11 years. Yeah, man, like, it's crazy. This world is crazy. This world is so crazy right now. And, you know, this is the time where we need to pray the most. We need to pray the most. You know, I pray for my family. You know, they may not rock with me, and I may not rock with them, but I pray for them. You know, I have family who are cops, and I promise y'all, like, if one of you little thugs think it's okay to try to run up on my family who are police because they're police, nah, my uncles who are police, they're some of the most kindest men I know. They're the most kindest men I know. They ain't out here trying to do anything extra to you. And when we talk, we talk. You know what I mean? But we got to do better, man. We just got to do better as a people. Stop comparing ourselves. Stop getting that outraged because this man was taken into custody alive and other people were killed. We know this. Stop posting it. That's not helping the cause. It's not helping the cause. It's further dividing us. And for a lot of y'all who keep saying y'all at peace and y'all ain't got time to hate, y'all are posting that and creating hate. So stop with the hypocrisy. Stop it. You look like fools. You look like fools. Sorry, I don't like calling people names out of their name, but you look like fools. 100% fools. Because you talking peace, but you creating hate. You got to stop it. So, Dede, I'm gonna hit you, man. I'm gonna inbox you, bro. I'm no longer in North Carolina. Location to be set on live because I have some people looking for me. Not because I'm under a federal warrant or nothing like that. I ain't got no warrants and stuff like that. I beat them charges like Rocky. But I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you, bro. Yeah, let me get up off here because I'm going to unintentionally hurt feelings. I'm going to unintentionally. Yeah, let me get up off here. I love y'all, man, and I want us to do better, so I'm always going to preach to do better. I'm always going to go hard for these messages for us to stop the foolishness in our own communities because we already have a target on our back outside once we leave our communities. We shouldn't have a target in our communities, in our communities and outside of our communities. We got to kill one or the other. All right? Peace.